How's it going?
Hi, I'm Alex. I'm 29 and I am struggling with how to tell my mom that I don't want her staying with me after my baby is born.
Okay. Is this your first child?
Yes.
It is. Okay. Is your mom staying with you now?
No, so she lives about like 10 hours drive away,
Okay.
but she plans to, so she says, like, as soon as I go into labor, like, drive up or hop on a plane, whatever's quicker. And she wants to stay for like 2 weeks.
What's your relationship with your mom?
It's good. Like I love her. She's always like very supportive or pretty close, but she has been like very emotional, I feel, my whole pregnancy so far. Like emotional that she's not here, like upset when if I do anything kind of like special with my dad or my husband's parents. I think she just wants to be like included,
Okay.
but it's like a lot.
So what I'm hearing is you empathize with mom wanting to feel included, but it sounds like mom's making this a little too much about her rather than being a
Yeah,
part
from
of
my
it.
perspective.
Yeah. Okay. Well, your perspective does matter, obviously, in this situation. Well, how far along are you?
She'll be here in about 6 weeks.
Okay. Well, congrats. That's exciting.
Thank you.
Aside from your personal feelings about your mom and this situation, if I may offer some just input as being a recent dad,
Yeah.
Nallie's mom, and again, every parent-child relationship's different. Nallie's mom is very easy to be around. I will say that. She's very good about not making things about her. So that is a very important detail. She stayed with us for 6 weeks, and I got to say, life-saving on our end. Like Nally and I, again, we're in a very fortunate position. So, living in LA, a lot of people were just like, are you going to get a nanny? Are you going to get a night nurse? I know that's not even an option. A lot of people I didn't even know what a night nurse was until I moved to LA. We didn't want to do any of that. We wanted to be really active parents. We wanted to, really embrace, the whole experience, especially with our first child, waking up, feeding River, Nally breastfed, all those things. And so in the middle of the night, I'd wake up, Nally would wake up, but her mom was there to take River at like 5, 6 in the morning, and we got to sleep in. And God, oh my God, that was just like a fucking game changer. So I just want to put that out there. Not sure, and if mom's not willing to help and do some of those things, and if she just wants to be involved, then it's kind of useless. But like free child support is a really great bonus. So if you have other options, great. But I do want to mention that.
I mean, I'm open to like hearing that it might be okay. I'm just like really nervous for like I want, like, this is my first kid. Like I want to be the one like doing all the things. And my husband only gets 2 weeks vacation right when she's born.
Mm-hmm.
So like I just don't want her kind of like hovering, like telling me, oh, this is how you need to breastfeed. Like, oh, this is the right thing. Like we're both very like our way type of thing, like very bossy, assertive.
I hear you. I guess it just really comes down to what is your comfort level to have this, I guess maybe tough conversation with mom. Because again, that's where Nally and I were very fortunate. Nally's mom, we didn't have to have any of these conversations. Both of our parents were very lucky. My parents have a lot of kids and they have a handful of grandchildren. This was Nally's mom's first grandkid. And even then, her mom was like, she was not there to give her input unless we asked. I mean, we were very lucky that way. I know a lot of people do not have parents like that. And we're very lucky that both of sides of our parents are very much like, they respect boundaries without us even having to enforce them. Not every parent's like that.
Yeah.
If your mom's not like that, you're just going to have that conversation where you're like, Mom, I just need to be very honest with you. This is our experience and this is what we want for us, and that's the thing is like the problem right now with your mom, it doesn't sound like she's asking. It sounds like she's just like, I'm going to be there, and off the bat, that's just like a slight like violation of your boundary, your space. I understand she's grandma, but like she needs to ask. She needs to be like, hey, what do you guys want to do? What's your plan? What do you guys want? How can I help? What can we were lucky enough to have Nally's mom have that type of energy. So she made it very easy for us not to have to worry about her feelings. And it sounds like where you're struggling is, your mom and her sensitivity. And right now you have to deal with your mom making her feelings more important than, quite frankly, yours or your husband's.
Yeah, no. I mean, I'm like open to having the conversation with her. I just kind of like, I don't know when, I don't know if, because I feel like there's two, like you said, there's like two types of people who want to help when the baby comes, like people who want to help with your other tasks and people who want to help and like sit there and hold a baby. Where it's like, I'm fine with her helping us with our dogs, with the laundry, with whatever. But I don't necessarily want her being like, oh, let me take your baby so you can go do that. Does that make sense?
Sure, but I think there's a middle ground. You know, like, don't get me wrong. We didn't
Yeah.
have Nallie's mom stay with us for 6 weeks so she could be Cinderella and do our chores. Like, that's definitely not why we had her. She definitely helped,
Yeah.
but I think it was just more like you, Nally and I very much were like, we're going to embrace this experience and we're going to wake up and we're going to be parents. But again, between like 5 a.m. and 7 a.m., like her mom was willing to wake up and that was her time. And we got to those 2 hours of sleeping in was like, it honestly like saved us, our mental health, our sanity. Like it was nice. I mean, to be
Yeah.
clear, it's one thing to wake up in the middle of the night, you know, is like you're going to wake up every 2 or 3 hours early on. And if you still have to get up at 6 a.m., that's tough. But when you have to get up a
Mhm.
couple hours during the day and you get to sleep until like 7 or 8 sometimes because someone else is holding the baby for a couple hours, pretty great, you know?
I don't know if I'm gonna feel like that.
I don't know. Yeah. I mean, we
I
didn't.
feel like I'm gonna be very like this is my baby. I don't know. I already feel like
I
that.
hear ya. I listen. Allie could not have been more connected to River and more. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
she was as hands on as anyone could be,
Mhm.
and everyone's birthing story is different. So I don't know what your experience is going to be like. We had a very seamless experience, a really great experience in terms of like limited complications. River, you know, like in terms of breastfeeding was like we had very limited issues, and it was still nice, I guess, you know, to just have that little bit of help. So yeah, there's my 2 cents. And again, like I completely get where you're coming from, and I don't want to doubt your ability, you know, to do what you want to
Mhm.
do. I just as a new parent of recent experience, it was nice. Again, I don't know how Nelly and I could have been more involved and more just like you. Like I want to take care of and you know, at any time we get even now, and like when River wakes up for a nap, Nelly and I are sometimes racing to the bedroom to see who gets to like take River out of the crib. We're very excited, involved, happy parents, you know, like we are very hands-on, but it's been nice to have a little bit of help for that 1 or 2 times a day where you're like, you know what, honestly, I need to rest my eyes. I need a moment, you
Mhm.
know.
I'm open to that consideration. Do you think you have any advice if I do want to go ahead and tell her I don't really want her? I would be okay with her coming like later on. It's just those first 2 weeks.
I mean, listen, I don't know the relationship you have with your mom. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're talking to someone who would have no problem going to my parents or, quite frankly, Nallie's mom and say, "Hey,
Mhm.
listen." You know, granted, when it comes to Nallie's mom, Nallie checks in with me, but like Nallie is obviously in charge of that relationship, you know, type of thing. And Nallie's mom has never put us in a position where I'd have to like say, you know, like almost kind of like, hey, I'm going to say something type of thing and like almost like have a confrontational moment. We've never been put in that position, but you are talking to someone who doesn't have a problem doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like I wouldn't have a problem
Yeah.
going to my parents. And ultimately, like what you need to do is just like sit mom down and say, hey, mom, I'm very excited. You're very excited. I'm just going to make, you know, let's say your husband's name is Ben, you know, Ben and I, this is what we want. Like, this is our plan. These are our goals when we have our child. This is what we want to do. We'd love you around, but like, I need to make sure that you're there to allow us to do what we want as new parents. And if you're willing to respect those boundaries, but we just don't really want to be like fighting with you or like competing with you, but who gets like baby time.
Yeah.
And if you're willing to be around to help when we need help and kind of get the crumbs, so to speak, like, then yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
How pushy do you think your mom's going to be on this?
I'm just very nervous because she's been so emotional. Every little thing, she cries or she storms out or I told her I've had to tell her several times that I don't want her in the room when I'm giving birth. and she like cries. So I'm just like, I don't want to hurt her feelings. And like, I get that it is her grandchild too,
But
but I'm just like,
yeah, you're in a tough spot. I mean, your mom is making this about you. Like it's not cool. Like it's not fair. You shouldn't have to worry as a pregnant person. You should not have to be stressed at all about other people's feelings, especially as it relates to like how much attention or how much they're being made to be a priority in this birth. I think maybe you play that angle. I don't know. Like you know your mom, so it's tough for me to like
yeah,
other than like pointing out the obvious, like, but maybe you could say, Mom, like, I'm spending way too much time, Mom, worrying about your feelings right now. And it's stressing me out. I want to care about your feelings. You're my mom. I want to see you happy. But like, I have 6 weeks left here. It's really important that I'm not stressed out, and I am. So I really need you to just be on board with what I want for my child and our child. And we want you to be a part of it. But like, you're not the main character here, Mom. I don't know. Your mom's
yeah.
Can you have that conversation with your mom?
Not without there being a lot of tears and emotions.
What's your partner's relationship with your mom?
It's good. She really she loves him. But I wouldn't say they've spent like a ton of time together just because we've never lived in the same
Would
town.
he be comfortable having this conversation with her?
Probably not.
I mean, listen, I am going to keep it real with you. Like, again, I want to recognize that me and Natalie are very lucky when it comes to our parents and what their roles are. Now that you are having a child, you just have a tough choice to make. And unfortunately for you, your mom is making it about her. And,
Mhm.
now that you have a kid, you're going to have to be willing to disappoint mom and not let it bother you.
That's true.
If your mom is going to make you choose between her feelings or your partner's feelings or your child's feelings, personally, I feel like you should be picking not mom, and it's up to mom to make the adjustment. And because you're 6 months
That's
pregnant,
true.
I don't want you stressed. I don't want you crying. I don't want you emotional. I don't want you worrying about this. And I kind of honestly feel like this might be a moment for your partner to step up, as awkward as it might be, to say, "Hey, listen, Betty, you're stressing Alex out. And like, I know you're excited. I know this is a very exciting time for you. It's an exciting time for all of us, but like, you really need to start respecting Alex's wishes here and stop making her feel guilty for doing what she wants. This is her pregnancy. This is our moment, and we love you, but you need to stop this."
And you think that's appropriate, like for him to say that to my mom?
Yeah. I mean, respectful. Like,
Yeah.
your mom, and then we've talked, if you listen to the show, we talk about this a lot, when we have people call in with issues with their parents. Like, it's parents really struggle, some more than others, with like understanding the new boundaries of their parent-child relationship, because your mom is quite frankly used to getting her way with you. How old are you again? You're 29?
29.
Okay. I mean, right now you are very kind of accommodating to mom. You're afraid to disappoint mom, and mom knows that. And that's mom's greatest weapon towards you. And I don't know if
Yeah.
I don't think your mom's like being, manipulative in a conscious way where she's, but I think she is used to knowing. I think subconsciously she knows that she can guilt you into getting her way.
For sure.
And that's not going to stop until you guys put your foot down.
I feel like she's gonna come when the baby's born no matter what, and since she doesn't live close, she's obviously feels like she's gonna stay here. You think I should, like, definitely bring this up before that or just at some point be like, once she's here, "Hey, we don't want you to stay?" I don't know.
I think you are entitled to ask for whatever you want. This is your first child. This is your baby. This is you and your partner's first experience. I'm sorry that you even have to worry about this, to be honest. It sucks. Unfortunately, you do. But like, I think it really comes down to your willingness not to give a fuck
Yeah.
about mom's feelings. That's what it comes down to. And your mom's going to be okay, Like, granted, my family dynamic's a little bit different. My brother just had his first child, He lives in San Diego. My parents live in Wisconsin. But like, they were, him and his partner were like, we're going to do this. They didn't invite my parents, to be there in the room. It wasn't, my parents were okay with that, but they just weren't invited, you know?
Yeah. And that's how it is for my husband's side, just because they already have like 6 grandkids. So they also kind of don't really care.
Yeah. But it's still not your mom's first kid, and it's not your mom's moment. This is not about her, you know?
Yeah.
And mom needs to recognize that she is acting like the main character in a situation where she simply is not. And she should not be adding stress to her daughter's life because she's more worried about being in the room.
Yeah. Do you think it would be appropriate or a good idea or an option to have this conversation with her? I'm very close with her best friend. Her daughter was my best friend. So like we've been close since forever. If I like were to tell her about it and then have her try to talk with my mom about it, or do you think it would be better just coming from me or my husband?
You know your mom best, so that's hard for me to
Yeah.
ask. I think you need to get better at confronting mom in general. And that seems to be an issue for you. And until you do, your problems with mom won't go away. That being said, I don't want you stressed about this. So if it will stress you, maybe now's not the time, 6 weeks left in your pregnancy, to have this big like moment with mom. You can always, mom's not going anywhere. You can worry about changing that dynamic later type of thing. You made a face when I said mom's not going anywhere. There's something you're not sharing.
No, I mean, she's not like leaving my life or anything, but I just feel like I don't, like, I feel like she's going to be depressed, like like clinically, like if I do this.
I think your mom's gotten really good at making you feel very guilty about disappointing her. That's what I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Your mom, I mean, again, I am not a therapist. I am not an expert in depression, but you don't get clinically depressed for not getting your way. I don't think. I think there's bigger things at play here than just like throwing a temper tantrum. This is a temper tantrum. This is an adult temper tantrum that your mom's throwing, and she can because, again, she's used to getting her way. She knows it bothers you. She is assuming you'll come around. So you're clearly very uncomfortable with disappointing your mom.
Yeah.
Why?
That's true. Not that I'm not like for, I guess, disappointing her, but just like I don't want her to be upset and sad. Like, cause just like emotionally, I feel like she's just been so sad. And like I don't want her to, like, she says things like, I feel like I'll never be good enough for you, like for this situation or whatever. And I'm just
did that feel like a reasonable thing for her to say?
No.
There you go. Adults can throw temper tantrums. They do it all the time, especially with their kids. And I know it feels harsh to say, but this is that challenge of being the adult, which you are, in this adult relationship you would ideally have with your mom, but you don't have an adult relationship with your mom. You still have this very child adult relationship with your mom. It's mostly your mom's fault because your mom, like, how many siblings do you have?
Just one sister.
Okay. So, your mom has had the benefit of probably not kind of letting that go. I'm the second oldest of 11. When I turned 18, my parents were like, well, good luck, man. I hope we didn't fuck you up. We don't have time to like helicopter parent you anymore, And so I was lucky that way.
I feel like my sister also is she does not care. Like she's always been like, I'm going to do what I want, like whatever. So I've been kind of like the one that she can, like I had the traditional wedding. Like I have this traditional, like, college boyfriend, married, house, baby. So I feel like she can kind of like.
But do you hear yourself talking though? Your sister's like, I don't give a fuck. And mom was like, right, well, she doesn't give a fuck. But like your sister did what she had to do. And you need to look at your sister as the blueprint. Mm-hmm. The only reason your mom continues to do it with you is because, again, you show a willingness to respond. Your sister doesn't respond. And so your mom doesn't do that anymore. You know what I'm saying? It's not a coincidence your mom guilts you like this and doesn't guilt your sister. Your mom's not going to your sister and being like, I'm not good enough for you. Right?
No. No,
which
I don't think so.
You would think if anyone she'd be saying that to would be your sister because you seem to be way more considerate and empathetic to your mom's needs than your sister does.
Yeah.
And yet, why is your mom saying it to you? Well, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying though. But like the more we talk, the more this really comes down to you not being afraid of disappointing mom. And not letting her guilt and her temper tantrums, you're legitimately worried about your mom slipping into some sort of depression, and that's not fair to you, and that sucks. It's ridiculous that you are, and I'm not saying that to make you feel ridiculous, but like I empathize with you, but it's not normal, and it's something you have to work through. What I don't want is you stressed over this over the next 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And I do think it may not be something that you're used to, and it might not be the dynamics that your partner and your mom have right now. But if you're asking me, do I think it's appropriate? Hell yeah, I think it's appropriate for your partner to like step in and have your back and have you unload some of your worries and stresses onto him because he's not pregnant and he can deal with that while he just says to you, I want you worrying about nothing about just chilling out, not giving a fuck.
Hmm.
You know, I know that's easier said
Yeah.
than done with mom, but like you really have to go there. Your mom's not going anywhere. But again, she does it because she can. Your mom does it because she knows it bothers you so much that you're willing to like call me and ask for advice and it was really bothering you. You know what I'm saying? And your mom senses that. As your mom, she knows you as well as anyone and she feels that power she has over you and that's why she does it.
Yeah. I think she also knows that it's a little bit ridiculous because she'll say something like, "Oh, I just need to go to get a therapist. I know it's too much, whatever." And I'm like, "Yeah, you should."
Do you say that to her or do you just say it
No.
on your breath? I've said this more, recently, but it is on you to create the relationship you want with your mom in adulthood. Your mom is never, just like your sister did. Your sister said, this is the relationship I want with mom, and she did it. And now mom has no choice but to respect your sister's boundaries. You aren't comfortable with enforcing your boundaries with your mom, and therefore that's why mom hasn't adjusted her interactions with you.
Yes, I hear you.
You know,
Hmm.
but I empathize with why it bothers you so much. And like obviously you care about your mom and love her and that's great. You just have to get a little bit better at disappointing mom.
Yeah, she's gonna be coming out here in a couple weeks just to like help me get the nursery ready and stuff like that. You think I should just talk with her then or like call her before then?
Well, how would you say it?
I feel like I would try first, maybe just like asking her what's her plan, like what are you thinking
Now you sound like the
about?
girl who's like, so what are we? you know?
True.
This is your baby. This is your pregnancy. That's the problem is like you have to stop asking mom what she's okay with and hope that you guys are aligned. You need to start telling mom what you're okay with and expecting her to get on board. I think when mom comes, just enjoy mom, do the whole nursery thing, have her have a blast. I wouldn't bring this up before you get into the nursery. I would do it after you get into the nursery and just have a good weekend or whatever. And then whenever you bring it up, be like, hey, mom, can we talk about just like when the baby arrives and this what, me and Ben's expectations are, and what we want, I know you're disappointed not wanting to be in the room. If I change my mind, I'll let you know. But this is something that Ben and I have decided as a couple that we want to do for us. And I'm sorry it's disappointing you, but I really need you as I love you. And it really bothers me when you're sad. I need you to not make me feel guilty about doing what we want as a couple because it's stressing me out, mom. And I don't think you want to stress me out. And I think you need to play that card with mom. I'm hoping mom's big enough to, if you were to let her, mom, you're stressing me out, that she would recognize that's the last thing she'd want to do to her first grandchild.
Mhm.
And I think someone needs to call out mom on her behavior stressing you out. And I think that would be maybe something your partner could do. Or you. I'm fine with either, but someone needs to. And I'm going to give mom the benefit of the doubt that like she is too far gone into her feelings to recognize that, but she is smart enough to know that stress of any kind is like the number one thing you don't want mom to experience, and that she's causing you stress because you're so worried about not disappointing her, and mom's so willing to let everyone know when she's disappointed. And I really think your partner, if that was happening in our house and you were okay with, like, if Nelly was like, I need my mom to stop, I would jump at the opportunity and I would be respectful, but I would be like, hey, you need to stop.
I think my husband would be very worried about like burning a bridge or something.
Well, your husband's probably following your lead when it comes to the relationship you have with your mom. And you've painted this picture where we can't disappoint mom or mom's going to cut us off. Like that's kind of how you talk.
She's definitely not.
Yeah. So like stop.
I mean, she's like so like obsessed with wanting a grandkid and
Yeah.
I guess sometimes I just feel like maybe she's more like excited for the baby.
Because your mom has the benefit of not being pregnant, not having to worry about all the things you have to worry about that comes with it. She just gets to be a grandma. So don't compare your experience to your mom's or anything like that. You know, I just,
And maybe it comes down to also me just feeling like, well, I'm your kid and like this is my kid. So like,
it's true. It
I
is.
don't
Yeah.
know.
You're not good at standing up to mom, clearly.
No, I know.
And I think you're questioning some very understandable and normal boundaries you would like to set.
Mhm.
And you're not confident in these boundaries because of your relationship with your mom. But I think all the things that you want for yourself as it relates to your pregnancy and how you and your partner want to experience that pregnancy and delivery and the days and weeks that follow, whatever you want to do is totally cool and you should do, you know? And everyone else in your circle and your family, they all need to what they should be doing is how can we be a part of this experience for you? What can we do? How do you want us to engage? Of course everyone wants to meet the baby. Your mom's not the only one. She doesn't get like she's not more special because it's her first grandchild and the other family, you know, it's like, and I hope that your mom knows that.
She feels I feel like she's very jealous with anything. You're doing this for your dad. You're doing this with the in-laws. What about me? So I'm like,
I'm willing to bet that you consider your mom's feelings more than any of these other people she keeps comparing herself to.
for sure.
And I think someone needs to let her know that and check her. And be like, Mom, we consider your feelings more than anyone else. And whether you think that's true or not, that's a fact. And so much so that it's stressing us out. And do you really want to be stressing us out? Like, that seems unfair, Mom. I need you to trust us that we are considering your feelings and stop guilting us for doing what we want to do with our child because no one else is. You guys hold all the power and you're not taking advantage of it. What bridge is he going to burn? He is the father of her first grandchild. He's got way more rights than she does, and she needs to be reminded of that. His feelings are more important than your mom's. What he wants is more important than your mom's. What you want is more important than your mom's. Like, your mom should just be a grateful bystander who's there to help when you need. And if that's at 5 a.m. so you guys can sleep in, then great. Mom should be super grateful for that. But mom shouldn't, and you should set that boundary with your mom too. Like, Mom, I'm not going to be a perfect parent. We're going to learn along the way. But when I want your input, I'll ask for your input. And I don't want to hear your input. I do not want your opinions about how we're raising our daughter. I do want your help, but I will ask for that help. But like, yeah, again, we're lucky that we didn't have to have that conversation, but I would be willing to have it. And it's an important conversation to have if you're not lucky enough to have parents who are willing to respect those boundaries without the conversation. And it won't change until you do.
I definitely want to have the conversation. I guess I'm just not sure, right? Still, if I want to say, I guess we just don't want you here at all, or let's kind of see how it goes.
Well, the bummer for you is it's like you just don't have faith that mom's going to behave herself. I'm guessing if you had the confidence that your mom would act like Natalie's mom or my parents, then you would let your mom. But you know your mom and you know how she's going to be. And you don't want to be stressed out when your baby arrives, I'm guessing, worrying about mom's feelings constantly. And that's the big, what I'm hearing from you is that's the big reason why you don't want her there.
Yeah.
You know, because I know you haven't had your first child yet, but I think you get what I'm saying when I say that as much as involved parents as you want to be, someone there to like give you 5 minutes to close your eyes, and even if that's all you need, it will be a huge fucking help. And right now, you unfortunately are feeling like you have to decide between that help that would be so beneficial or mom's constant feelings. And you're just like, I don't know, her feelings are just such a pain in the ass that I'll just, I'm like, and it sucks that you're in this position. But again, it's just not going to change until, and I think you say, Mom, you go get therapy. You need to tell her. I mean, she's open to it, but like, this is ridiculous, Mom. And someone needs to point out to her right away that her behavior is stressing you out. Because I don't think Mom wants to do that, right?
She doesn't. No,
Yeah.
I mean, and she said it before too. Like, I kind of blew up at her once already. Like, I told her, I feel like you're making my pregnancy about you. And she's like, I would never want to do that. I don't want to stress you out.
But you are, Mom.
I know.
But you are.
I know.
So stop it. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, your mom isn't a child. And while your mom is going through it right now, and it sounds like your parents are divorced, right? And so your mom, okay, but like
Yeah.
again, she is making literally your pregnancy about her divorce. I mean, she
Yeah.
is. She's still competing with attention from your dad. And if her divorce was difficult, I empathize with her, but like she's got a deal. And it sounds like
Yeah.
you give her way more attention than you give your dad because maybe your dad doesn't need as much. I don't know what, but I think mom needs to start hearing some hard truths and she needs to like face some reality. And even if that means some tough love.
Yeah. I did have the conversation with her already because she wanted 2 weeks at Christmas too. And I told her, like, dad can get a week and you can get a week. Like, that's only fair. And she threw a fit. And I was like, well, you did that to yourself when you got a divorce. Like, you have to split the time.
Oh, did she leave him or something?
Well, no, I mean, yeah, she did, but it was fine. Like, they were never really happy together. So
I
we
mean,
were
but
totally
like, but
fine.
do yourself a favor and don't say it like that,
Yeah. Yeah.
Because like she's just gonna find that triggering, and
Yeah.
that's the point is like you don't need to point out the obvious things. So like, mom, I don't like, don't make me explain to you why I'm gonna give my dad and you equal time with their grandchild. Like again, your mom reacting the way she did is ridiculous. Your problem is you respond to her ridiculousness.
Yeah.
So she's gonna be like, this works.
Yeah.
What does your husband think about all this?
My husband thinks that she's a lot, and so having her here would be also a lot. Like, he likes her. It just like, when she's here, she's very involved and, "Let me do this," and, "Let me do," like, "What are we doing
Yeah,
this
I couldn't
time?"
imagine. I
And
couldn't imagine. Like I said, we're very lucky it's the opposite with us.
and
But
I don't think she would be, like, bad to have. It's just, like you said, like, managing her feelings while she's here, while we have a brand new baby. I think that might be, like,
oh,
the biggest thing.
and the energy. You do not want that
Yeah.
energy in the house. You know that energy you have in a house where someone's just moping around and they're being passive aggressive. It's fine, it's fine, it's fine. The last thing you need is your mom walking around all day, huffing and puffing and saying how it's fine when it's not fine.
Yeah.
And you know your mom. And so you're worried about that energy. And that's fair. You gotta point this out to mom.
Yeah.
She's gonna be fine. And you have all the power here. Mom's not gonna slip into a deep, dark depression. She's about to have her first grandchild.
Yeah.
You
So
know?
tell her when it gets closer.
And tell her when you're comfortable. And if you're not, I mean, why is your husband really afraid to say something to her?
He is very just like, he wants to keep our personal business personal. Like, he wouldn't say anything. Like, he doesn't air out any grievances between anyone besides us.
What do you mean besides us? Like,
Like, we'll have disagreements and whatnot together,
sure.
but if that goes beyond us, like, he's not okay with that. So I feel like it's hard for him to do, like, confrontation.
Someone's got to. I don't know. This
Yeah.
problem doesn't go away until someone puts their foot down with mom.
Yeah. It'll end up being me, I know, which is fine.
Yeah, but only if you can get to the point when it sounds like you're a bit away from that where you can do it without it really affecting you.
Yeah. I was gonna say it certainly will, but I feel like, as you said, like, I should set up the boundaries now at least, because what happens, like, in a year when she's 1 and my mom wants to take her for 2 weeks and go on a vacation with the baby, and I need to be able to tell her no, or, like,
I mean, the fact that your mom, you're not going to want that's.
yeah, yeah.
And would you have a hard time? That's a.
No, no, no. I'm just saying, like, if something else comes up where, I'm going to a wedding in May or whatever, and she's like, "Let the baby come stay with me." I'm probably not comfortable with that.
Yeah.
Like,
And
I
you
need to be able
shouldn't.
to just tell her that.
Yeah. And that should be easy for you.
Yeah, it's not, but I'll work on it.
That's why your mom's so okay with asking for the ridiculous.
And she knows that I feel like she knows those emotions and stuff are ridiculous, but
But you respond to them. So
yeah.
the blueprint's there. I mean, your sister, everything you said about her, like are you in therapy as it relates to your mom?
No, I probably should
Because
be.
there's something going on that I don't know what it is. Maybe when did your parents get divorced?
I was 16.
Okay. I don't know. Maybe that affected you in a way where maybe you were just worried about picking sides and disappointing mom and dad. I don't know. But like your fear of disappointing your mom seems slightly unhealthy. I'm not trying to come down on you, but like as a 29-year-old woman, you should not be this afraid to set some very reasonable boundaries with mom. And your mom seems way too comfortable asking for unrealistic things. And it seems very clear that she's able to do that because she just knows you won't push back, and that she sees in you the disappointment that you have with disappointing her. And that is why she does what she does. It's no different than when your daughter gets older. If you and your husband allow your daughter, your child to do what they want, you're going to be dealing with someone at a certain age who's just is going to act out and is going to be spoiled and is going to throw temper tantrums when they don't get their way. And your mom's just an adult version of that right now.
Yeah. I feel like she's very loving. Like
I'm sure she is. Yeah, I'm sure she's great. Yeah.
I'm sure she'll be a great grandparent and everything.
Yeah, I'm sure she will. But she is always going to ask for more from you. In any situation, she wants more. And that's usually going to come in the form of time and attention or time with her grandchild. And she will throw a fit every time she doesn't get her way, and that will be an emotional burden on you until you're able to confront mom without it really affecting you all that much. And it sounds like maybe you could talk with someone and work on why you feel the way you do when it comes to your relationship with mom. And there clearly is some kind of mental hurdle that you have, or some like subconscious fear.
Not that I feel like she cut us off, and like it sounds bad, but I just like I don't want anything to happen to her. Like if she gets too upset, I don't know.
I hear you. Your mom's done a number on you.
Dramatic. She's a little dramatic, I guess.
You're not alone. I'm guessing there's a lot of people listening right now when they do listen to it. I recognize that I've been very lucky, and Natalie's been very lucky when it comes to that. And I know most parents, not even some, most, are probably similar to yours than they are to mine and Natalie's. But it's up to you. This ain't changing unless you do something about it.
Yeah.
Because mom's
I
not.
liked it.
Yeah, mom, however old she is now, she might get into therapy, but she probably won't get into therapy until you insist she gets into therapy. Or something, it's going to have to feel like quote unquote rock bottom. But I don't think, not that I know anything about your mom, but I'm going to go ahead and guess that mom is not going to be so self-centered that she is going to create some sort of mental health crisis on her end as a result of her not getting her way. I don't think your mom would be that selfish.
I don't think she would either. But I do get every couple comments, sometimes I'm like, it just makes me nervous.
Well, she says it because you react.
Yeah, true.
She doesn't say it to your sister.
Well, or she does and she just rolls off. She doesn't care.
And as your mom's still in your sister's life as much as your sister allows it. And when you disappoint your mom, you just follow up, be like, Mom, sorry for disappointing. I love you. I'm always here. I'll always be here. I'm always there for you. I'm sorry this is upsetting you. I still love you. When you're ready to talk, I'm here, but this is how it's going to be. And you have to you got to assume the role almost as a parent here when it comes to your mom. Like good practice for you.
Yeah. Well, maybe I'll tell her, hey, I'm going to get into therapy like you should do.
Sure, but you shouldn't have to do it just to get your mom into it. Sounds like maybe you could benefit from it.
For sure.
There is something going on with you and mom. I don't know what it is. So yeah, I hope this was helpful. I don't know, but I would love for your husband to maybe also be willing to. I think you two as a team, as a couple, need to sit down and say, hey, we have a problem. Problem's mom. We love mom, but she is causing stress. Neither of us want this stress. So as a couple, what should we do about it? Should you talk to her? Should he talk to her? I don't know. You guys just to be a team, decide together, remind each other this is your experience, that all that really matters is what you want and need and what he wants and need and what your child needs. That's all that matters. And everything else is irrelevant and insignificant. And you are going to make sure that all the grandparents and the siblings and whoever wants to share in your experience will be able to share in that experience. But when you guys are ready, and you shouldn't have to worry about when that time is. You'll be ready when you're ready, and and you guys need to remind each other of that so that you can have each other's backs when other people don't want to respect that boundary, and you can support each other when one of you needs to enforce that boundary with someone, because you're going to have each other's backs. So if one of you, whoever it is, decides to confront mom, the other person's saying, we're doing the right thing. We have each other's backs. We're here to support each other. What do you need? Like, if it's your husband who confronts mom, then you're just like, you're doing this for me. Thank you. I have your back. I'm giving you kind of permission because it is your mom. And if it's you, then your husband's there to have your back, saying your mom will always love you. She's not going anywhere. Your mom, just kind of all the things I'm saying to reinforce that it's going to be okay. You guys need to really be there for each other and support each other, because all these other things can be daunting.
I think that's a really good way to approach it with him too, because I know that's like all he wants is like to support me. And I know he would, if it ever came down to like in the moment something was happening, I know he would say something, but I'm not so sure about ahead of time. And I do feel like I should have the conversation with her.
What if I wrote her a letter, and just like, Mom, this is how I'm feeling. Because you are 6 weeks out from having a baby, like everyone in the world, even like 18-year-old boys know that pregnant women shouldn't be stressed out. You know what I'm saying? Everyone knows pregnant women shouldn't be stressed out. And your mom must know that on some level, this is causing you stress. She's certainly not thinking about it right now. She is so caught up into being the victim in this whole little story right now. I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt. It hasn't crossed her mind, but someone, I think at a minimum, someone needs to point out that her putting her needs as a first-time grandma ahead of even you as a first-time mom is causing you stress. And whether or not she wants to do that, she is in fact doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And someone needs to point that out. I honestly think your husband would be the perfect person.
Okay.
It's his kid. He's as involved as you are. And it's kind of a moment for be like, hey, and you doing it's only going to cause you more stress. You shouldn't have to fight with your mom right now. I'll do it. Give me.
Well, I was going to say maybe I'll have my sister talk with her and just say that part, and then I'll have I definitely want to have a conversation with her in general, but just to say like, you are, just so you know, like, even though you don't want to be stressing her out, you kind of are.
Not kind of.
You are.
She,
You are.
And if mom, if you could stop, if I'm your sister, point out, mom, if you could just stop reacting to being disappointed every time you do, you're going to get more time. But right now, Alex is so worried about you doing what you do that you're stressing her out. And like, if you're going to make Alex choose between being stressed and you being around, she's going to choose not being stressed. And doesn't that suck that you're putting her in that position? So stop making her feel bad for giving her dad time to her grandchild. Equal time, mind you, mom.
Not even less, probably.
Yeah. Stop feeling bad that like Ben and Alex have decided for themselves that they want to be a couple when their baby is born. Stop making Alex feel bad for whatever it is she wants. It's her goddamn pregnancy.
Yeah.
And maybe your sister is a good one to do that. If
she'd feel very comfortable.
Yeah. Sure. And then your sister could be like, do not call Alex, and because that's what mom's going to want to do. Why did you have your sister tell me? And your sister needs to be like, don't fucking do it, mom. I mean, if your sister wants to be the bad guy here, let her be the bad guy. Eventually, yes, you need to face mom, but maybe now is not the time because of the time you're in. But like, let your sister be the bad guy. But you have to at least give yourself permission not to care. You can't be calling up your sister, be like, "Is mom okay? How did she act? Is she gonna be okay?" Your mom's going to be fine.
Okay.
And if your sister doesn't want to do it, send me mom's number. I'll give her a call.
I'll just send her.
All right. I really want you to enjoy this. Should be a really beautiful and exciting time for you. Yeah. This is not shit you should be stressed or worried about.
No, I'm very excited. I'm like, I've always wanted to be a mom. So.
All right. And if that being said, if we can fix this, and whoever, whether it's mom or someone else, if you can get those couple hours of sleeping in, I tell you, it was such a game changer to be able to sleep in for a couple hours. Yeah, it was really nice. Well, congratulations. Go enjoy these last 6 weeks. I look forward to the day that you can adjust your relationship with your mom. You and your husband have all the power, are in total control, and it just comes down to you guys recognizing that and taking advantage of that. Mom has no power or control over your pregnancy, your child, or your relationship unless you allow her to have it.
Right.
Okay. Well, keep us posted.
Okay.
If you need another pep talk, I'm happy to help. But you should be thinking about your nursery or whatever, and anything but this. You should not be worried about this. It just shouldn't. And you are, and that sucks. And someone needs to point that out to mom. I do think your sister is probably a good person to do this. All right.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Thank you.
All right. Take care.
All right. Thanks.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
This show is sponsored by Betterhelp. Listen, people, we know it's well, listen, I know a lot of you are stressed these days, and we get it, but there's something we can do about it, and that is to find a good mental health therapist to prioritize our mental health. We put so much effort into the foods that we eat and our gym memberships and all those things, and like those cost money. The world's expensive, but like there is a cost of not prioritizing your mental health, when you spend a lot of your energy worrying and stressing about things, well, if you were able to get that off your chest, who knows what you could be capable of doing. And we love BetterHelp because they are making it easier and more affordable to help you get the therapy that you want and probably need. Doesn't matter what your problems are or where your stresses come from. Might be work, might be family, might be relationships, might be money driven, or maybe it's just that old-fashioned general anxiety. Whatever the reason is, you can decompress and get it off your chest with the help of BetterHelp. BetterHelp is working with new therapists every day, making it easier for you to find the therapist that works for you. And that's my favorite thing about BetterHelp is that they will assign you a therapist and allow you to replace that therapist until you land on someone that you really feel like is benefiting you. It's more affordable and far more convenient because you can do it from anywhere. As long as you have a phone or a tablet or computer to connect with, it's all about getting you the mental health help that we all need. It's super easy to get started. Just go to betterhelp.com/VIALL, fill out a brief questionnaire, and get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. Let the gratitude flow with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/VIALL today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/VIALL. Vessi is a footwear company that makes waterproof, breathable shoes. And when I say waterproof, I mean 100% completely waterproof. As autumn breathes new life into the city, Vessi ensures you're ready for every adventure. With waterproof innovation, you'll stride confidently through the rain-soaked streets and embrace spontaneous city moments in complete comfort. Whether you are a city slicker or you like the outdoors, maybe it's hiking, maybe you're a big boater, Vessi, again, is keeping your feet dry and comfortable. Nothing worse than damp, wet feet. Keep those feet dry. Doesn't matter if you step into a pothole in the city or you accidentally slip and dip your toe or stand in a puddle of water on your boat. If you're wearing Vessi, you will stay dry and comfortable. And Vessi has a great collection of different designs, of different styles, all looking great. I even paired my Vessi sneakers with a suit. A little classy, and a little comfort all at the same time. It looked great. Got a lot of compliments. They also have their Westerly Coach jacket. Is a great raincoat. Love it. Stylish. Looks great. And again, keeps you completely dry. Stop wearing plastic bags or ponchos. for your raincoat. Everything that Vessi is making is innovative and looks great on you. Step into waterproof comfort with Vessi's early Black Friday sale. Stay dry in style with select waterproof Vessis. Now just $99 at Vessi.com. Don't wait. Grab yours before they're gone. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good. What's your name?
My name's Alexis. I'm 32 years old.
How can we help, Alexis?
So I'm having trust issues with my best friend, and I'm wondering if I can repair our friendship.
How long you guys been best friends?
Over 20 years now.
20 years. Okay. Why do you have trust issues?
It's a long story, but she's been this last year hiding some things from me, and it's become more obvious lately.
What do you think she's hiding?
She's been seeing this guy for about 6 months and called things off in August, but I have suspicions that they're seeing each other again, but she's actively hiding it from me.
Why do you think she's hiding it?
I honestly don't know.
Do you not like him?
I've never voiced anything in any way about him because I've never met him personally. So any concerns I've expressed, I've tried to do so delicately, but she can be kind of defensive.
How old are you again?
32.
Okay. You don't trust her. Did this all start with this guy, or are there several other instances where you realize she might not be that upfront with you?
I would say more so this year. I think it started with this situation because we've always been super transparent with each other, and we've both been in toxic relationships in the past. So we've helped each other work through those things and really, seen all sides, and we've never, to my knowledge, hidden anything from each other.
And so why are you worried that this is going to ruin your friendship?
I think for me, I have trust issues from some of the things I've been through that I've really tried to work through in therapy. And for me, it's the lying and hiding. So somebody actively taking extra steps to continue a narrative that's untrue.
Mhm.
That's what really hurts me.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for the information. I'm going to say some things. Feel free to interrupt if it's not resonating with you.
Yeah.
Couple things that you said that I feel like I have a different POV than you might have, right? You mentioned this person is someone you've been best friends for 20 years. You're 32 years old. You've known her since you were 12 years old. So This is essentially like a sibling to you.
Yeah, we call each other family.
There you go. And I think that's important to remember because I always say it's like you don't pick your family, you pick your friends, so to speak, right? Now she is a friend, you picked her. But for 20 years, so much of your friendship is based off this history. You know what I'm saying? You've been in each other's lives. But your friendship, when you guys were 14, that has really no bearing on your friendship today. You know what I'm saying? But I guess my point is like siblings, I'm always going to love my siblings. I'll always be there for them. I may not be as close with some of them at times. We might go through periods of disconnect or fighting, or just we might lose touch for a period of time. They might change a little bit. They might get into things, hobbies, or, they might make friends where we lose a little bit of touch or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But we'll always be family and we'll always find our way back to each other. And I think a friend that you've had for over 20 years, I think you have to be a little bit more realistic with your overall expectations of this friendship. This is not someone you met 6 months ago or 12 months ago where you became friends with and you were kind of inseparable, for 6 months, and you went around telling everyone you guys are best friends, and then they did some weird shit and you're thinking, wait, I know we've been inseparable for 6 months, but this is kind of weird behavior, and should I be as close with this person as I want to be? That's not what's going on with your friend. You've known this person for almost their entire life, her entire adult life. So you give that person a little bit more grace. You know what I'm saying? So here you are having experienced lies and deceit with other, I'm guessing, romantic partners or toxic relationships. Your friend, for whatever reason, is dating someone that you're not even sure why, but is not being as forthcoming with you as you wish she was or you expect her to be. I don't know if that's quite the same. You know what I'm saying? I guess my point is there have been plenty of times where I was I don't need to tell my sibling this. I don't owe them this information. I don't want them to know. I don't know why I don't want them to know. I don't even feel like I need to explain myself. I just don't want to tell them. And I feel like a friendship of 20 years, your friend is entitled to make that decision, right or wrong, when it comes to whether she wants you to know something or not know something. And that doesn't make her right. It doesn't mean maybe she's dating an asshole. Maybe you know, whatever. But my point is, there's a reason why she's doing it. I don't know what the reason is. Definitely want to find out. But having an idea of like, I don't know if I could be friends with her, you know, and that's not the same as her like lying to you per se. Am I making sense? I'm thinking this more like a sibling relationship, and it's just more like her not telling you isn't necessarily the same as her lying to you.
I guess, how would you perceive it if, like, I've directly asked questions, but then I know that she's coming up with stories to cover it?
So maybe you say, hey, listen, Becky, I love you. We've been friends our whole life. You know, trust is a big deal to me. I'm just sensing there's things you don't seem to want to tell me. That's what I'm saying. It's like you have to figure out what she's comfortable with sharing with you. And then you have to respect that boundary. Right now, you have an expectation that she owes you some information that clearly she's not comfortable for whatever reason to tell you. But you're still, you're basically like, well, we're best friends. You need to tell me everything. And she's not telling you. And now you're taking it as deceit or lies or, her, you know, that you can't trust her. And she's just like, I don't know. I don't want to tell her for whatever reason. And she doesn't necessarily need a reason. She's allowed to not tell you.
I get that. I think for me, because we talk almost daily, so it's really hard in our daily conversations for me to act like nothing's happening because I'm a pretty transparent person and I don't want to be fake or, you know, tiptoe around stuff.
So you say, hey, listen, like, I don't want to pry about topics that you're not comfortable telling me. I just don't want you to lie to me. And I am comfortable with respecting your privacy and your boundaries, but just tell me what you want and not want to tell me. Sometimes, and it's not an excuse, but sometimes why do people often lie? I'm sure you've heard this before. I didn't want to tell you because I didn't want to upset you. And while again, that's not valid, maybe there's some element of disappointment your friend thinks you're going to have by her sharing her truth with you. And she's just decided it's easier not to tell you or to like avoid the truth. So as a friend, maybe you can make her feel more comfortable with being like, listen, if there's things you don't want me to know, that's okay. This is your life. It's your boundaries. As your best friend, I'm just here to receive all the information you want to tell me. And I hope that you want to tell me everything, but I will say sometimes as friends, we paint this, you know, like couples. It's just like we don't want to disappoint our friends. We don't want to disappoint our family. Don't want to disappoint our partners. And sometimes along the line, we tell each other everything. We're best friends. We're inseparable. And now, because you have set this expectation with your friend 5 years ago, whenever it was, she thinks, well, I have to tell her everything. You know what I'm saying? So as your relationship evolves, your relationship is not the same it was when you guys were 14 or 16 or 22 or 23. It's constantly changing. And friendships of 20 years, just like romantic relationships of 20 years, you guys will both change. You have to check in with each other. You have to check in with how you guys are the same, how you're different, how you can support each other as friends now as 32-year-old women, and that might be different as 22-year-old women, and just have these conversations. But I feel like giving your friend the green light and permission to not tell you things, and you're all comfortable with that, and you're here when she wants to tell you things, you just know her, like you said, and you just don't want to feel like you're lying to her or telling the truth. Just be like, hey, listen, I am seeing someone right now. I don't really want to open up right now. And if you can show her that you're okay with that, then maybe she'll be more honest with you.
That makes a lot of sense. I appreciate your perspective on that. I guess my other concern is that if I do bring it up, like, I definitely want to do it in the way that you're saying. We don't live in the same city, so I don't know the best way to go about it. And I also don't know how to handle it if she continues to kind of act like it's not happening.
You can distance yourself. Well, one, I mean, I don't know, I'd FaceTime her. I'd call her or FaceTime her. I wouldn't do it over text.
Yeah.
You know, and I wouldn't wait till you're in person. I don't think this needs to be that serious. If you have this conversation with your friend and she continues to play dumb and she doesn't do what you ask, which is to just communicate and be a friend, and she doesn't give you the opportunity to show her that you're okay with whatever she is willing to share. Again, if you don't want to tell me things, just tell me you don't want to tell me. I'll be fine. I'll be okay. I just don't want to feel like you're lying to me and that you're afraid of telling me the truth or for whatever the reason. Whatever the truth is, and maybe that truth is, I don't want to tell you right now. You know, if she keeps lying, then you can pull back. Again, like, she's just been in your life for 20 years. You know, if your do you have siblings?
Yeah, I do.
All right. So if one of your siblings was doing this, you wouldn't be calling me up and being like, well, I'm deciding whether I should make him not my sibling anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, she is your family. So if she does this, you can say, well, I know you're not being upfront with me. So when you're ready to be upfront with me, give me a call. I love you. I'm here for you. But like, I'm just a little heartbroken. Then you just have to be honest. You give her the honest communication that you want from her. So just be honest with her. I feel less close with you now. I feel it's weird to talk to you every day when I know you're just not sharing stuff with me. So just be honest with her, just talk.
I think that's where it hurts is just, I think at a certain extent, I start to take it personally because now it's been going on for about a month and a half. And so it's giving me anxiety. I'm marinating on it. So I think this is a really good approach.
Yeah. You have to stop making this about you and your feelings and what you think you're entitled to when it comes to this friend. I don't know why your friend's doing what she's doing it. She's doing it for a reason. I don't know necessarily a good reason, but there is a reason. And you guys are going through this weird period that for whatever reason, she doesn't feel like comfortable telling you. So like, you just have to let her know through conversation why you're disappointed, what you would like her to do, and just give her a little bit of time to do it. I don't think you have to issue threats or ultimatums. You could just be like, all right, well, again, whenever you're ready to just start telling me things, just let me know.
I'm here when you're ready, essentially.
Yeah. And then, but then you have to stand by what you're saying. You can't say I'm here when you're ready and then feel a certain way every day she's not ready.
Yeah.
And take it personally or make it about you and start over, it's just like, a friend of 20 years, you guys are going to go through shit. And you're not, it's like best friends of 20 years, you're going to make other friends, she's going to make other, but you'll always come back to each other.
That makes sense when you compare it to a sibling too, because it's like my brother and I have had those moments and you never see them differently. And I see what you're saying where we'll always be that person in each other's life, regardless of what happens. I'm just not used to having these types of things pop up like with us or specifically in this friendship.
Yeah. So just have that talk with her. It's not like she's sleeping with a married man and lying to everyone and doing low character things that of at least or whatever.
No.
It's just like I don't know, maybe who knows why she doesn't want to tell you. But I think part of the problem is you take it personally and you're angry and like now you're mad and I think you're making it a slightly bigger deal than it needs to be.
Yeah, I think I need to stop marinating on it.
Yeah. Is this helpful?
No, I appreciate that. Thank you. I think it's helpful. I think I have a step forward. I'm not good with confrontation, so I just get really anxious like having these conversations. So if you have any tips on like how to, I guess, stay confident when you are having these types of conversations.
I don't know if you have to worry about staying confident. You just have to focus on getting out what you want out. So write it down, first of all,
Like, I don't want to come across judgmental or upset or things along those lines, like you're saying.
Just be like, listen, there's an elephant in the room. I just feel like there's things you don't tell me anymore. And honestly, that is okay. If there's things you're not comfortable telling me, that's okay. It just really upsets me when I feel like you're lying to me or not being truthful. I'd rather have you just tell me, hey, I'm not ready to share this with you right now because I just don't want you to feel like you're being dishonest with me. I'd rather have you just not tell me something you're not ready to tell me and just let me know that, and I will respect your wishes. I'm here if you need. I'm here whenever you need. I want to be your supporting friend. But that's the thing where you have to like find that like line, which is like being a supportive friend doesn't entitle you to be that supportive friend to every time they need support.
Yeah.
They might go to someone else for support and it doesn't make you less best friends. You know what I'm saying? Like that's where you're almost like, this is my job and I want to do that. And like,
No, I get what you're saying.
So yeah, like try to make it less confrontational for one, write down what you want to get out so that you are clear that you can get it out, that you don't forget it. Don't make it that complicated. And it doesn't have to be confrontational.
Maybe I can just do a virtual wine night and take the edge off a little and we can have a conversation type thing.
Yeah, but just, do it before you guys get drunk and sensitive. But yeah, listen, lead with love, lead with your feelings. Don't, express your feelings without trying to make her feel guilty for the feelings that you have. let her know that her feelings are okay and valid.
And I think I need to express too, like, I just want you to know that you can come to me. Like, I'm not here to judge you.
But the important thing is letting her know it's also okay if you don't.
Yeah.
I just don't want you to lie to me because you're afraid that I'll be mad if you don't want to tell me things. But because we talk as much as we do and we're in each other's lives as much as we are, I do need you to let me know so that I'm not worried about you, that you don't want to tell me something. Because like, I kind of know what's going on in your life, and then it makes me feel like you're lying to me when you pretend there's nothing going on. So like, if you don't want to tell me who you're seeing or what's going on in your romantic, that's fine. Just tell me you're just not ready to tell me right now.
That's perfect. That's exactly what I needed to hear.
Yeah.
I really appreciate this.
But then it's on you to actually be okay with that.
Yeah.
Which
I have to be able to stand by what I'm saying.
Yeah. And that will be weird for you because you're gonna feel a certain way, especially if she's like, well, I don't want to tell you right now. And your first instinct is to be like, well, why not?
Because we're always unfiltered. So it's like, it's this new kind of like filter essentially.
Do you have any idea who this person is that she's seeing?
Yeah. And I've never met them, but I know that it's due to certain professional relationships as to why he didn't want it known in the first place. But I knew about it all along.
So you're saying that you already suspect that you think the reason why she's not telling anyone is because he's being secretive?
Yeah, he wants it to be secretive.
So so now you already know the why.
But I guess this is the complicated part, is she was upfront with me from the very beginning through all of that until going back, I guess, at some point.
Sure. But again, if you're accurate in your assumption, he's like, listen, maybe the reason they stopped hanging out to begin with is because he felt like too many people were finding out, he got uncomfy. They broke up, got back together, and they made some sort of promise to each other that they were just going to not tell anyone and keep the pressure off. And she is trying to respect his boundary.
Yeah.
And that boundary makes you feel like it's coming in conflict with your relationship. So
exactly.
That's where, again, you have to let her know. It's just like, listen, whatever the reason is, just know that I'm here. And if you don't want to tell me, that's fine. But
thank you.
It sounds like this all kind of makes sense.
No, I think you helped me connect some dots and to just kind of make it a little simpler than I've made it in my mind, because I can make things feel debilitating even though they're not such a big deal.
Yeah. Don't let the entitlement you feel with this friend make you feel like you are owed more than you're owed, or that you're also like, don't let it make you feel like your friend is someone she's not. I mean, you started this call by like wondering if you can even trust her, if she's a different person.
Yeah.
Sounds to me there's a chance she's just trying to respect her boyfriend's boundary. And maybe it's an unhealthy boundary. Maybe he's an asshole. Maybe there's a really unhealthy reason why he's asked to keep a secret. I don't know. And either do you. But as far as your friend is concerned, it sounds like there's a good chance she's just trying to do right by him. And that doesn't mean she's dishonest or a liar or that you can't trust her.
That makes sense. Just because she's doing right by him doesn't mean she's necessarily trying to do wrong by me.
Well, yeah. And let's be real here. It's just like, are you in a relationship?
Yeah.
Okay. Either way, when you guys get into your relationships, you guys have other priorities other than each other, and sometimes your each other's friendships won't always be number one, and you're both gonna have to adjust to that. And the way to adjust to that while continue to stay close is to communicate as things change.
That makes a lot of sense.
All right.
Thank you. Thanks for helping simplify it.
Anytime. All right. Take care.
Appreciate it.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Lumi creates deodorant products that can be used head to toe. It's clinically proven to block odor all day and control odor up to 72 hours. Lumi is an absolute game changer. Lumi deodorant was created by an OBGYN who discovered odor isn't just for underarm things, it's an all over thing. So she developed Lumi, a pH optimized deodorant that is clinically proven to control odor everywhere from up to 72 hours. So fall can just be fresh. Unlike certain traditional deodorants, they try to mask odor with a fragrance. Lumi is formulated and powered by mandelic acid to stop odor before it starts. They have a lot of great products. My favorite is their deodorant wipes. That has saved Natalie and I in several occasions. Sometimes when you're on the go, you had a long day, and you can sometimes stink. And those deodorant wipes are great. They save the day. They get those pits smelling fresh and good. Also, you can use those deodorant wipes for all over your body. Wherever it's stinky, they got you covered. It's all baking soda free and paraben free and pH balanced for safe use below the belt. You can choose from a variety of fresh, bright scents like clean tangerine, lavender sage, which is what I go with, or the toasted coconut. The Lumi starter pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice, like mini body wash and deodorant wipes. Plus, you get free shipping. As a special offer for our listeners, new customers get 15% off all Lumi products with our exclusive code. And if you combine the 15% off with the already discounted starter pack, that equals over 40% off their starter pack. Use code VIALL for 15% off your first purchase at LumiDeodorant.com. That's code VIALL at LumiDeodorant.com. That's LumiDeodorant.com with code VIALL. Caraway, as a home chef, I take great pride in the tools that I use to make delicious meals, and Caraway has been my partner in the kitchen for the better part of 4 years now. I got 3 different Caraway sets. I got the stainless steel set. I got their ceramic set both at home and at the lake. It changed my parents' life by gifting them a Caraway set, and they were like, how have we not been cooking on this forever? And the best part is, in addition to it looking great and cooking great and being easy to clean, it's also safe for you. Caraway products are made without any toxic materials like PFAs, PTFEs, PFOAs, and other hard-pronounced chemicals, which is crazy to think that there are a lot of unsafe pots and pans out there, but not Caraway. Again, did I tell you that it's easy to clean? Their slick surface means minimal oil or butter for slide-off-the-pan eggs. And easy cleaning. It's so easy to clean. It's even better to cook on, and they're come in an assortment of colors. It's easy storage. They also look great just kind of hanging if you're one of those people who likes to hang their pots and pans in their kitchen. Really great sets. I recommend it to everyone. You don't have to take our word for it or mine. Over 65,000 other people have rated it 5 stars because they also love their Caraway kitchen. Now it's time to try it yourself. The holidays are closer than ever, so get their gift or yours in time. Visit carawayhome.com/VIALL10 to take advantage of this limited time offer for up to 20% off your next purchase. Again, that's carawayhome.com/VIALL10 to get new kitchenware before the holidays. Caraway, non-toxic cookware made modern. How's it going?
Going good. How are you?
Good. What's your name?
I'm Alex. I'm 30.
Nice to meet you, Alex. How can we help?
So my friend, I believe, stole from me, and I'm not sure how to confront her.
What makes you think she stole from you? What did she steal? How much was it? Oh my God.
Yeah. So as of yesterday, I believe it's 3 pairs of sunglasses. So what happened was we went on a trip over the weekend. She drove to my house. I drove us in my car. The weekend was great. When we got back, though, it was like a long car ride. I was like, I'm going to run inside and pee, like all these things. Like, I got to run in. I'm going to come back out for my stuff. I was kind of rushing. And she was like, no problem, no problem. Everything's all good. So my fiance cleaned my car the next day. When I come back in, I had 3 pairs of sunglasses. I don't know why I need that many, but I have 3 pairs in my center front console. And there was only 1 pair there. So I texted him like, hey, where'd you put all my extra stuff when you did my car? And he was like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, I had like 3 pairs of sunglasses here. And he was like, no, there was just the 1. And I'm like, that doesn't make sense. Like, did you throw it out? And he was like, no, I mean, like, did your friend borrow them on your trip? And I said, no. But then I was like, oh my God. But when we got home, like I went in to go to the bathroom, like she was unattended. Like that had to have been what happened. And then I thought to myself, I was like, okay, that's 2 pairs. And then I was like, ooh, you have that really cute pair in the center too. Like you should check. And I looked and there's a 3rd pair that's also gone. So like definitely disappointing, obviously, because this has been a friend of mine for a long time.
Time out though. Like,
yeah,
I'll be honest. If I had 3 sunglasses in my car that went missing, I would never think it's my friend who stole them. Like, what even makes you think that your friend would do this? And maybe you're like the most mindful person where she always knows where her stuff is. And I would say that because it's like, I don't know, I lose shit all the fucking time. And it's like, God only knows where it is.
Yeah.
Like, the last thing I do would be blame a longtime friend for stealing them. Rather than maybe I just kind of don't know where I put them. But you seem pretty confident that your friend stole them. And I'm just curious as to why.
Yeah, so I would say I'm very observant, and these 3 pairs have lived in the front of my car since like August. Like they have not left. I have not taken them out. I've worn they've been living there And then all of a sudden they weren't. And magically, after like the one time I had someone else in my car, they happened to not be there. And so, and this friend, what I will say, we've been friends since a long time. We did room together in college where, she had her own kind of things that she was going through. And so this is not necessarily maybe the first time things have gone missing.
But like, again, because she was a roommate. So like, are we calling this stealing, or is she borrowing without permission?
So I wouldn't say we hang out enough that it's like a borrow situation. Like we hang out maybe once a month and we sometimes keep in touch by text. It's kind of one of those like low maintenance friends where we keep in touch. We sometimes hang out, but like we're not on a basis where it's like, oh, I'll borrow this and I'll see you next weekend kind of a thing.
Right. Well, I know how you should handle it. I think you reach out to her and you say, hey, I think you might have accidentally took my glasses by mistake.
So I did that because I was like, I need her to know I know. I sent that text and then I didn't get a response. I sent that at like 8:00 one night. I didn't get a response until like 11:30 the next day. And it was just like, no, like haven't seen them. Like, that's the worst. And I was like, yeah, that is weird. But like the other thing I thought about too that I noticed is the other thing that like now that I'm looking back and maybe I'm reading too much into it, when I had gotten back in my car later that day after we got back, there was a piece of like one of my, like an envelope from my glove box was on the floor of my passenger seat. And like I don't have anything in the passenger side. So I was like, that's weird. How did that fall out? And I just like put it back in. But my fiance was like, she was definitely rifling through your shit. Like she definitely went in the front, took the glasses, and then I had a different and then no way, I went through your glove box.
Yeah, I also, again, I don't know where you live. I live in Los Angeles. So if I don't lock my car door, like at any point, some random fucking person will go through your car.
No, yeah. I live in a nice suburban area. I would be very shocked. I live in a townhouse, like right near, like there's like old people live around me. Like it would be pretty shocking for someone to go. It just is the timing. Like I know for a fact I had them.
How much do these glasses cost? Are these
like, listen, this is no Louis Vuitton. Okay. Like, at the end of the day, like
because I got some gooder glasses you can get for $25.
Yeah. Because I'm like, listen, at the end of the day, like this is not a designer pair of sunglasses, but I just feel like it's the principle. Like you don't like you shouldn't steal from people, let alone 3 pairs of sunglasses that like I know for a fact I keep in my car because they live there. Like
then so I feel like you've done what you can do, and if you really are, if you're that confident that she did this, then not a friend.
So that's I guess my question is like, now that I've kind of gave her the opportunity to say like, oh yeah, let me double check. Like, I feel like I gave her the opportunity to like, be like, yeah, let me double check, feel the guilt and then be like, oh my God, yeah, they must have fallen in here. But we didn't do that. So I guess I'm wondering like, do I just, I already like don't see this person on a regular basis. Do I just keep that person at an arm's length until they reach out to me? But then part of me is like, I mean, she probably won't reach out to me. Obviously, we're not that good of friends. But I will say I did post some photos recently and we commented on those like, oh my God, like so awesome. And I was like, So I'm just like, if this person texts me to hang out, like, do I just like let this kind of go, keep her at a distance? Do I not have it? Like, is this not a friend? Like so I guess I'm just more like, if that person does reach out, because I'm certainly not going to make the initiative anytime soon.
You seem convinced that she took these glasses, right?
Yeah.
So we can only sit there. We can only trust your gut here.
Yeah.
If I were in your shoes and for whatever reason that you are convinced she took them, if I were as convinced as you that someone stole from me and then I tried to give them the benefit of the doubt by texting them and being like, hey, I think you accidentally took my glasses. And then they denied it and lied about it. And I was convinced, as you are convinced, that she's lying about it. I would be like, this is not a friend. You know what I'm saying? Like, why? Like, if you're so convinced she did this, then clearly this isn't someone you want to be around or have in your life, right? Like, I don't like.
Yeah.
I would never think someone I'm friends with would do this, but you are convinced. So, like, I feel like the answer is kind of obvious and is kind of, it presents itself. Whereas if you really think she did this, then she's not a friend, and or someone that you honestly like. At this point in your life, do you need someone who's this I don't know,
Yeah.
dramatic or problematic or shady, or, you know, like if this person truly can steal from you and lie about it, she's not your friend. Why would you want to hang around with someone like this at this stage in your life?
Yeah.
You know?
No, yeah, 100. Yeah, no, 100%. And so
Yeah.
I guess, you know, because like from talking with people, they're like, oh my God, just like get over it or whatever, or this or that. And so it is disappointing, just obviously, because we've been friends for probably like over 10 years. And so I will say I'm surprised because in college, when we had a few snafus, like we've had many of heart to hearts after where she acknowledged, like, you know, she had her own shit going on. She wasn't a good friend to me. Like I was like, you know, she's acknowledged in the past, like those things, and we've worked through that. And she seems like she's in a really good place now, but I guess obviously not, you know, to be, or maybe you have like a sticky fingers habit. I don't know, but I guess I'm just gonna,
Well, it's just fucking weird.
it.
It's just weird.
Right.
More than anything, it'd be
Yeah.
weird if she did this. It's just weird. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
And I mean, listen, I looked literally everywhere. Like there's like my fiance, we looked through the car, we looked through the back, like literally everything. He was like she 100% like rifled through your shit and whatever. So I guess I'll do, you know, just keep her at an arm's length. And I guess I just wonder if she does text me again, like, hey, like, do I just ignore it? Do I just,
well, yeah.
like, oh, I'm busy, you know?
I would just ignore her.
Yeah.
Or confront her. One of the two.
Yeah.
If you're so convinced, why don't you just be like, I know you took it. It's weird.
Yeah, I guess I just feel like obviously that's like uncomfortable to be like, hey, I know I already asked you and you said no, but I know you did anyway.
Well,
you
if you're
but
so
I guess
convinced,
if like ultimately,
if you're,
like, yeah, I would
if you
have to
know,
be direct.
if you know she did it and you're one, like the risk here is like you're wrong.
Yeah.
The risk is like, despite you looking and being as convinced as you are that there is something you haven't considered or thought of, or something happened that you didn't think was possible, but it did, and it wasn't her, you know?
Yeah, I mean that would be crazy, but hey, you never, you know, that could be true.
But if your gut is telling you that not only she, you know, even the fact that you think it's pretty, like, despite this being weird and crazy, you think she's more than capable of doing this.
I would, in like the person she was before, I could see the person she is now. I'm surprised that like this is something that we're like still do, like we're still kind of having these. Like I am honestly surprised, but maybe that's just my own, you know, just
You're
trying
not
to be
that
like giving,
surprised
you
that
know.
I mean, you are certain she did this without any real proof.
I guess other than the fact that she was the only one by herself in my car right before everything went missing.
Sure. No, I hear it, but still not proof.
I know. That's why it's tough because it's
There's
like
no smoking
you know.
gun, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah. So I guess, you know, I just ignore. And if maybe she decides to turn a corner and, you know, fess up, which likely won't happen, but I don't know. I think I'll do what you said, just ignore and not really, you know, put like effort into the friendship, quote unquote, that I thought we had, I guess, you know, and I think I just have to like be okay with that and accept that, you know, like that's obviously not a friend. And I have to stop turning it around on myself, like, because I'm like, oh my God, was I so annoying that weekend that like, and people are like, no, like that's not a justification for stealing from someone. So I think I just have to, you know, face the hard truth and just move forward.
And you don't want to confront her anymore?
I feel too nervous to do that, to be honest.
Why?
I don't know, because I feel like, I don't know. I feel like if before it was like, no, like I haven't seen those, like I don't know. Like I guess I'm afraid, like to your point, like if I am, like I don't know if we'd admit it, but to your point, without any proof, it's like if I am wrong, I mean, but either way, it's like the friendship is frayed regardless.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You're willing to ghost this
you know?
person and cut her off from your life. That's not any less aggressive than you would confronting her.
Right. And
It's
I feel
just
like
easier
I
for
don't
you.
want to do that though. You know what I mean? Like, even though this is like a no-brainer, like just with like the, like, you know, like because like I said, like I don't have like a ton of friends. Like I have a few close people that I keep in touch with. Like, so for me, I'm kind of like, oh man, like I already don't kind of have a lot of friends. Like this I thought was, but now I'm like, oh my God, do I even know anybody?
Why
like,
don't you have a lot of friends?
Well, I just, you know, I'm a little more like introverted and I've never
Okay.
really been like a type of person who's had like a big friend group. Like I've always had like a few close friends that aren't necessarily like intertwined with each other.
But that's a choice you're making. It's not like you can't make friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess the one of the few long-term like friends from childhood that
She
I
doesn't
have
sound like
still.
much of a friend. I mean,
No, yeah.
you're the one who's like, I don't know, we kind of hang out sometimes, like
Yeah.
she's a casual. She's not the person you're going to like really
Right.
open up to. And she's someone you met a long time ago, you have history with, and you've kept in touch. That's
Yeah.
not. But if,
Yeah,
again,
and I'm,
addressing it head on is,
yeah.
if you think she did it, it's an option.
Yeah, because
And it would go something like, hey, listen, this is really awkward for me, but their only answer could be you took them because I know where they were and you were the last person in this car. And like, I don't know why you took them or why you're not telling them, but like, it's pretty clear you did.
yeah.
So like, just let me know. It's not that big of a deal. And honestly, if you really like those glasses, you can keep them. I just like, it's just, why don't you just tell me?
Yeah, like you could go on Temu and get a pair that matches.
Yeah. So just kind of, if you confront her, don't confront it like, I know what you did, as if she committed a murder. Just be like, this is silly.
Yeah.
Why don't you just tell me you have them? Because now it's gotten weird. It would be something like that.
Yeah, it is weird.
And then you kind of,
because it's going to be hard.
You make her feel like this is weird, and you're just like, this is super weird. I know you know this, but now that you're not telling me, it's just getting weirder. And then you pull back, and then she's going to feel real stupid for this.
Like if you stole something from someone and then they texted you like, hey, have you seen this? Would you be like, oh shit, they know? Because like I would, but that's just how my brain works. Like, I don't like, does she, like, I don't know. I'm like, does she know I know? Does she actually think I'm like dumb and like not noticing? Or like, I don't know. I don't know. But you're right. It is overall, it's weird. Like,
I don't know why people do what they do, and I don't know this person. You just seem so convinced that she took them.
I just can't think of any other explanation. Like the timeline of it, like when I'm telling you, like these, like in the same spot, like
no, I understand all that, but it's the fact that like there are even so, there's got to be people. Well, maybe I don't know. There's got to be people in your life that even if they were the last person in your car, you would still be like, there's no way they did that.
Yes, I think if it were, and I guess like that kind of goes back to your point though, right? Of like, let's take a look back and maybe see who this person really is. Because if it was someone else, my gut would not go to like, oh, they definitely took it.
The point is, like, you think she's more than capable of having done this.
Yeah. Just based on some past
behavior. I hear it. I mean, whatever the reason is, your gut is telling you she's more than capable.
Yeah.
Your instinct, what you know about this person is it's not hard to believe that she did. As weird as it is, you're just like, yeah, if anyone would do something like this, she would do something like this.
Yeah, no, that makes total sense. I think I just, I feel like I'm kind of like running it by people and getting all these different things. So I figured I would get a different, unbiased outside opinion.
I wouldn't put, to summarize, I wouldn't be friends with people who I thought were capable of this at this point in my life if I were you.
That makes total sense.
But if you think she is someone who, you have a history with, and despite her having her issues, that you want to be a friend to her because she's struggling with whatever she's struggling with, and while you're not going to accept certain types of behavior, you will be willing to like challenge her, address certain issues, certain behaviors, always, holding her accountable, then address it.
Yeah. Because once it was like the two, and listen, I know I shouldn't have, like, why do I have like 10 pairs of sunglasses in my car? I don't know. But like once it was the two, I was like, all right. But then once I noticed, like, because I was like, like my gut again was like, you have that really cute cat eye pair in that other compartment in your car. You should check there. And I did. And like they were gone. And I was like, okay. So once it got to there, I was leaning more towards like, maybe we're just not friends. And like that can be okay. And I shouldn't like, like maybe I shouldn't even worry about her reaching out to me, because obviously if you're going to do that, you don't care to reach out and hang out with me or keep in touch,
Has she reached out since? I'm not talking about commenting on social media.
No.
Okay. Yeah.
And she did say when our text, she was like, I'll double check, but like, I don't think so. And then I was just like, okay. Cause I was like, yeah, I was literally like, yeah, it's so weird, like sounds good. But like she never responded after that.
So if you're right, then chances are she won't reach out anytime soon. And comments online don't count, because comments online give a perception of we're okay.
That's a great point.
But it's not like she's calling you to get together where she has to sit across the table with you, knowing she stole your glasses, and she stole your glasses, and you're both like so she's going to avoid you for a while.
That's what my sister said. My sister said she will likely continue the lie and hope that it goes away quickly and will kind of avoid it until things pass over. But
if I were you, I would want to just say, I know you did it.
I want to, and I'm just really, I'm scared to do it because now it's been like
what could she
a
do?
couple days.
What could she do?
I guess nothing. But
text her. You just text her. I know what you did last summer.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I guess I'll mull it over. Either just confront head on or keep the distance, and Yeah,
there's no wrong answer. I mean, it would be fun for me. I would just bother me too much.
Yeah.
I'd want that person to know that I know.
That was why when I was like, I'm going to text her, because in my brain, like the way my brain works, like if I took something from someone and they texted me, I'd be like, oh my God, they know. So like, that's why I was like, I'm going to send a text like immediately. Because if anything, whether I confront her or not, I need her to know somehow that I know.
No, but that's not what you did.
I know.
She is going to convince herself that you might suspect, but she's going to think that you don't really think it's her.
Yeah.
Because she's used to getting away with shit like this.
Maybe. Yeah.
So I would want to make her feel like I know, and that like while you took it and you won't admit to it, like I think you should have the guts to tell her why you're no longer friends.
Yeah. And who knows? Sometimes I don't know if she listens to you guys or not all the time. I don't know if she listens to Ask Nick, but like part of me was like, oh my God, what if she listens? And then I was like, you know what?
Does she listen to our show?
It is what it is. Maybe. I don't know. So I think sometimes. I don't know if she listens to Ask Nick. I don't think you're like her most played. Like, I feel like that would have come up more in our conversations, but I was like, you know what? Like, hey, it is what it is.
Well, if you're listening,
maybe she'll hear this.
Turn the glasses.
You could give her a recommendation of a podcast to listen to. Specific episode.
I could. Like, hey, oh my gosh, have you ever heard these Ask Nick?
I think you should just text her and tell her, listen.
Just go the direct route.
No one else could have taken them. I don't know why you did. Don't say you suspect or think. Just say it as a statement of fact.
Okay.
Speak to her as if you've seen the evidence that she has the glasses.
Okay. Yeah. I do need to do that instead of like tiptoeing around it.
No. Yes. Because
I'm too nervous. I just have to be brave.
she will keep and let the only chance I have of getting her to admit it is being like, I know you. I know you did this.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, listen, we all know. Just you can have Yeah.
So if you want to talk about why you did this, we can talk about it. But like, obviously, you took them. It seems odd to me. I thought we were past this kind of behavior. I'm here if you need to talk, but like, I'm only talking until you acknowledge what happened.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a very adult, safe thing to communicate to someone you claim you were at least friendly with.
Yeah.
Or you've known for a long time.
Yeah. No, yeah, you're right, for sure. I'll have to muster up some courage.
It won't kill you.
And maybe I'll mull it over and figure out.
Just have your fiance, you draft the text and have your fiance press send.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I will do that. I appreciate your advice and taking the time.
All right. Well, thanks for the call. I appreciate it. Let us know what happens.
So much.
Whatever you find out. All right. Take care.
I will. Thank you so much.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
I once accused my friend of stealing my charger, and I found it 5 years later in my room.
Really?
Yeah.
We should put that in the episode.
It was specifically the block to like my Beats to charge it.
I have your wire at home, by the way. I found it today.
And my friend was you. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, I found it 5 years ago, and I texted her. I was like, I'm so sorry. And I sent her a picture of the charger.
What'd she say?
She was like, I told you from the beginning I never stole. It was like it wasn't a big deal like this. Like, we were really close friends, but I was always like, you have my charger. And then after 5 years, I had my own charger.
Hey guys, if you loved what you listened to, make sure you hit that subscribe button below. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.